By the time you realize what's wrong, the numbness has already crept in. It settles quietly, sinking deeper with every moment you try to fight it. And you wonder, why do I feel so empty? It's a question that haunts you, isn't it? A quiet, relentless ache that fills the spaces where joy once thrived. You look fine on the outside, normal even, but inside something has shifted. There's a void and it's growing, consuming everything it touches. I know that feeling. I live with it every day. It comes in waves without warning, choking me when I'm alone with my thoughts. I find myself wondering, what's wrong with me? Why do I feel like this? And why can't I shake it? The truth is, emptiness is silent. It doesn't scream for attention like sadness or anger. It just lingers, dull and persistent, until it becomes part of you. And what makes it worse? No one else seems to notice. You start to wonder if anyone else feels this way, or if it's just you. We hide behind so many layers, don't we? Behind every smile, behind every "I'm fine," there's a world of emotions we bury so deeply that even we forget they exist. But here's the thing, just because we bury them doesn't mean they go away. They stay there, festering, until all that's left is a hollow shell of who we used to be. It's ironic, really. We live in a world where everything is about connection, social media, instant communication, endless interactions. Yet we've never been more disconnected. Every post, every story, every shared moment is just another way to hide the truth. The truth that, deep down, we feel nothing at all. And the worst part? We're too afraid to admit it. Why? Because the moment we acknowledge it, we have to confront the reason behind it. And that's terrifying. For years, I've tried to figure out what this feeling means. Why does it come and go like a shadow that never truly disappears? And why, when everything seems to be going right in life, does the emptiness still linger? It's hard to explain to others. When I try, people think I'm being ungrateful, that I'm ignoring the good things I have. How can you feel empty when your life looks so perfect? They ask. But they don't understand. It's not about the external. It's never about the external. The ache comes from something deeper, something that goes beyond success or happiness or even love. It's about connection. It's about meaning. And when that's missing, no amount of success or external validation can fill the void. There are times I catch myself doing the things I thought would bring me joy, only to feel nothing. Like I'm watching my life unfold through someone else's eyes. Detached, numb. And the more I ignore it, the worse it gets.
We're all chasing something, aren't we? Whether it's success, love, or recognition, there's always something just out of reach, something we think will finally make us feel whole. But here's the thing, what happens when you finally get it and the emptiness is still there? Because that's the truth no one tells you. You can have everything you ever wanted and still feel like nothing at all. That's the world we live in. We're taught that happiness comes from what we achieve, from the goals we check off the list. But those are just distractions, temporary fixes for a deeper problem. The real question we should be asking ourselves isn't, how can I achieve more? It's, what am I really missing? And that's the hardest question of all. It's easier to put on a mask, isn't it? To pretend everything's fine. To show the world what it wants to see, even if it's a lie. But the more we hide, the more we lose ourselves. Piece by piece, we disconnect from who we really are, until we don't recognize ourselves anymore. And that's when the numbness sets in. You start to wonder, who am I really? What do I want? What will finally make this feeling go away? But the more you search for answers, the harder they become to find. We've become experts at running away, from pain, from fear, from vulnerability. We convince ourselves that if we're busy enough, distracted enough, we won't have to face the truth. But the truth catches up with us sooner or later. What if I told you that the very things we think will bring us fulfillment are the same things that deepen the emptiness? Success, money, validation. We chase these things relentlessly, believing that once we have them, the ache will go away. But it never does it? In fact, the more we chase, the more disconnected we become, from ourselves, from others, from the things that truly matter. I've spent years chasing these things, believing they would fill the void inside me. But they didn't. All they did was distract me for a little while. And then the ache would return stronger than ever.
Isn't it strange? We can be surrounded by people, family, friends, colleagues, and still feel utterly alone. The room is full, but there's a barrier between us and everyone else. It's like we're watching life happen from behind a glass wall, unable to break through. The casual interactions, the small talk, the forced smiles, they don't fix the emptiness. In fact, they make it worse. Because deep down we crave something more. We crave genuine connection, the kind that goes beyond surface-level interactions. We want to be seen, to be understood. But in a world where everyone's too busy putting on a show, those connections are harder to find. And so, the emptiness grows. For many of us, the emptiness is rooted in something deeper, something we've carried with us for years. Past trauma, unresolved pain, the ghosts of memories we've tried to bury. But no matter how hard we try to push it down, it lingers. It affects us in ways we don't always understand. We build walls, we create defenses, we numb ourselves to the world around us, all in an attempt to protect ourselves from the pain. But in doing so, we also shut ourselves off from joy, from love, from the very things that make life worth living. Sometimes the emptiness comes from burnout. We push ourselves too hard, stretch ourselves too thin, and before we know it, we're drained, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And that's when the numbness sets in. Even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. The things we used to enjoy no longer bring us happiness. It's like we're on autopilot, going through the motions without feeling anything at all. But this isn't just about being tired. This is something deeper, a soul-deep exhaustion that can't be fixed by a good night's sleep. It's the kind of burnout that makes us question everything, our choices, our purpose, our very existence.
Here's the thing about emptiness, it isn't permanent. Feels that way, I know, but it's not. In fact, it's one of the most human experiences there is. It's a signal, a wake-up call that something needs to change, that we've disconnected from ourselves, from our true desires and needs. And maybe, just maybe, it's an opportunity. Instead of running from the emptiness, what if we embraced it? What if we used it as a path to self-discovery, to reconnect with the things that truly matter? Because in the end, that's the only way to fill the void. Not with achievements, not with validation, but with meaning, with purpose, with connection. So, why do we feel so empty sometimes? Because we've lost touch with ourselves. We've buried our emotions, hidden behind masks, and chased the wrong things. But the emptiness doesn't have to define us. It's a call to look deeper, to search for the things that truly make us whole. It's not easy. But then again, nothing worth having ever is.